Hey guys, welcome to another video. If you have not subscribed to the channel already, make sure to do so right now. I publish new videos every single week on card mechanics, gambling, sleight of hand, tutorial and demonstrations, and maybe some deck reviews coming in the near future, who knows. And precisely on that note, it's the topic of today. Now, there's no doubt that you have an unlimited amount of decks that you can choose to use. And that was the thinking behind today's video. What deck should you use? Now let me be clear, I am not talking about a magician and I am not talking about a cardist. Those two genres can use almost any deck. Well, mostly cardists. Magicians can have a sort of middle ground, but from a gambling point, from a gambling sleight of hand perspective, which deck should you use? There's basically three types of decks. You have what's known as a fully custom deck, which has themes usually that are associated with it. You have custom decks, which only have the back design customed and the ace of spades is custom. And then you have standard decks. This is a standard deck. This is by the USPCC, and these are the B playing cards. All right, this is a standard deck. These are the B diamondback design. They come in red and they come in blue, and they are phenomenal cards. This is a phenomenal deck of cards. This is my favorite deck of cards. Why would you use, and why would I recommend you to use a standard deck? Well, first and foremost, it's because of the faces. As you can see, the faces are completely normal. They're completely standard. That's why it's known as a standard deck. Now, the ace of spades is custom, but it's a standard deck, pretty much. Now, what's the advantage of a standard deck? Well, that you can read it, that you understand what you're seeing. If I give you this 5 of diamonds, it will take you a split microsecond for you to identify that this is the 5 of diamonds. Likewise, in the back, you notice it's a simple diamond design. No borders, which is excellent for hiding the second deal because there's no borders. See, second deal, there's no borders. I love that. That's borderless. And it's a simple design. It's not a design that will catch anyone's eye. It's not a design that people are going to look at it and be like, oh, could that be a trick deck or a gimmick deck or a gaff deck or something like that? That's why you see so many performers use bicycle playing cards, because they do not draw attention, and that's what you want. You don't want to draw attention to yourself, and you want the spectator to look at the card and instantaneously know this is the card. Now, when it comes to custom decks, that is not the same. If you look at a custom deck, you'll notice that they are incredibly busy on the background. Monochromatic, very busy, a complex design. In the same manner, when you look at the faces, it is a fully custom deck. And notice how the faces change completely. It takes a while for you to know that this is the King of Clubs. The other cards are the same. As you can see, they're fully customed and they're a little bit difficult to read. It takes the spectator a minute to understand what is it that I'm seeing. That's not what you want. You don't want that. But for performing, this is really not the way you should be going. For collecting, for displaying, these decks are perfect. And finally, we get to the happy medium, as I like to call it. A custom deck, but not a fully custom deck. That would be this type of deck. As you can see, the back design is very much custom. It's not a traditional normal back design. Very pretty back design. I really like these cards. They're very, very pretty, very, very nice. Not overly busy when it comes to the back design, but busy. But the reason why these are not fully customed cards is because when you turn them and you look at the faces are not customed. Only the back design is custom and the ace of spades is custom. But when you look at the faces are normal. The faces are perfectly standard, every single card. is perfectly standard. Just like a bicycle deck, just like a B deck, just like a tally-ho deck, the faces are perfectly normal. They're perfectly standard. It would take no time at all for a spectator to know that this is the Jack of Clubs. And this is the happy medium. So if you are a magician, I would recommend that you go with something like this, with a custom deck of cards. The back design is custom, but the faces are not. Very easy for the spectator to know when you, as a magician, tell them pick a card, any card, you know, the typical stuff. I would recommend that you use something like this. But of course, if you are a gambling sleight of hand performer or a card mechanic performer, then you should be using a standard USPCC deck like B playing cards, tally-ho playing cards, or bicycle rider back playing cards. So that's gonna be all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, learned something new, and don't forget, next week we have another video. Keep winning, keep practicing.